Red. She's pointing. We're live! Again! Technology! I hate you!
But he loves you too.
Okay, 3 weeks in a row now, or I should say 3 shows in a row now, we've had the feed delete. Just delete after the show goes live. If there's any expert out there that can tell me why that's happening, because I have not been able to find an answer, I would love to talk to you. So please hit me up. Anyway, okay, so if you're on the Whine Show page here, we should see the show go live at some point. Guys, if you're tuning in, you're probably still just trying to find the show again. There we are. One person that's tuned in, everybody else is on the feed that died. Help us share the show, get the message out, because it's super annoying that the show that's been promoted and advertised for a week has died. So it's massively affecting our views. Anyway, I'm sharing the post. Welcome to the Whine Show. That was my rant for the first minute about technology. Ashley Bradley has already tuned in. Thank you, Ashley. Ashley, please share the show and invite your friends to the show, because this is the 3rd time the feed is deleted. We need help getting views back on the show now. Anyway, welcome to the Whine Show, the only show where you can be friended and offended all in the same hour. America, we have a problem other than technology. We have the problem of being able to talk to each other without killing each other. I refer to it as the zero to Nazi effect. That is, in any given disagreement, especially online, the length of time it takes to go from 0 to you're a Nazi. I will now punch you in the face and go outside and set your car on fire. Apparently I talked way long on my rant because the show's music is already over. That's a good cue, you know, it just dies and you're like, oh, you're still talking. Yes, so we're going to dive into today's topic. It's a heavy-duty topic. There's a lot of meat here, and it's really a prevalent conversation. I will say we had we put a survey out for the week prior for everybody to vote on, and I always give the guests the final say in what we discuss on the show. And David Pipkin was going to be on the show this week, and I had as the survey topic talking about marijuana, because he's a very anti-legalization guy. And he has a firm stance on that, and so it makes for a good show. He's not here, and there's not enough real disagreement that we're going to talk about it. There's a little disagreement, but not enough that it's going to be a good hour's worth of conversation. So we batted around topics, and we came up with something entirely different. It's something that's in the news. It's something that was hot over the last week, and it's honestly something that's been hot for months, a while. Actually, since the election. I mean, it was a big topic during the election. It kind of died down for a while, and now it's back again. And there's a lot of nuances to it, and that is the allegations of inappropriateness, inappropriate behavior regarding a politician or a movie producer. It doesn't matter who it is. Sure. The whole thing with Hollywood. So there's a lot of different directions we can go with this. My question to you, and this is what I want you guys to chime in on, is at what point does the standard in the legal system is innocent until proven guilty? Is this a charge that we're willing to throw that premise out over? Do we just automatically accept anybody, male or female or otherwise, that comes forward with charges of an inappropriate behavior, regardless of the time frame involved, and say, well, you know, I know that our legal system says it's innocent until proven guilty, but because of the heinous nature of this allegation, we're going to go ahead and call this person a victim. And we're just going to kind of accept on face value the testimony, because it's kind of like, who would lie about, you know, some of this stuff, right? There's no real gain necessarily a lot of times for some of these people in coming forward. It's very difficult for people to come forward, that sort of thing. Is there a point at which we're willing to say, I know our legal system's, you know, the very foundational truth of what it's built on is this idea of innocence until proven guilty, but in this thing I'm willing to toss that out the window and go with the allegation. That's my question. I'm putting that out there for you guys. for me, I will tell you, I'm kind of taking the extreme position here. The price of freedom of speech to me is that I have to listen to morons. That's the First Amendment. The price of the Second Amendment and the freedom to bear arms is that we're going to have idiots that do inappropriate things with them and kill people, right? And that's a price of us getting to bear arms, right? It's a high cost. You can't get much higher cost than that. And to me, the high cost of the legal system saying it's called Blackstone's ratio or Blackstone's formulation. Mm-hmm. I'd rather 10 guilty men go free than should one innocent suffer, right? And that's the high price of the freedom of presumption of innocence, to me, right? So for you as the viewer, tuning in and watching this, is the idea of, let's say it was, as serious as rape or even child molestation or something, which makes me, want to turn into Batman and just, forget law, right? I'll just go vigilante and handle this myself. Were it my kids, that would very likely be the case. See my profile picture.
The one with the hair?
With the swoopy 70s
Oh,
hair?
the one with the gi. Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
thank you.
I think the hair would scare me more.
I was about to say, boy, the hair scared me
Fling
more.
my hair, just,
Exactly.
I whip my hair all around it. Oh, sorry.
Exactly.
Anyway.
We find you
Just go to Joe Orsak's Facebook page and you'll understand.
Yes, you would understand the threats
The hair.
of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, is there a charge like child molestation, rape, or that type of things that's serious enough for you that you're kind of willing to say, forget the whole innocent until proven guilty thing. I'm willing to tank this guy's possible career, marriage, or whatever else because I can't accept that.
And in his case, you were
so-
discussing like the length of time. Like,
Yes,
it's been
and
so long.
yeah, it's been so long. It's been, if it was 40 plus years ago. So you guys chime in on that. That's what we're going to be
Yes.
talking about today. I'm going to pour the wine today, and then we're going to dig into this topic. We're going to give our guests the opportunity to introduce themselves and do shameless plugs, as we always do. So our new guest over here today, whatever you want to promote or put out there, feel free.
Okay.
Minute or so,
Okay.
And today we're going to be drinking a Chilean, Ash, I don't know if you can get a close-up of this, a Chilean Cabernet Sauvignon. It's called Kunza. And I'm a big fan of Chilean wine. I'm really looking forward to getting to try this. It is very like a ruby colored, and when you pour it in the glass, it's almost kind of a translucent, which is more like a Pinot Noir than a Cab. Fruity flavors. It wasn't oak aged. It's supposed to have like a little bit of a hint of a strawberry, kind of an earthy flavor. So we'll see. We're gonna enjoy this wine. I'm gonna start pouring, and at the end of the show, we're gonna rate. So make sure you stick around, and we'll see how it comes out. I've never had it before. I'm looking forward to it. All right. So Joe, I'm gonna give it to you. We can go around and introduce, and then we're gonna give you guys the going backwards bullet point. Where do you stand on the subject? Just kind of a 1 minute synopsis, and then we'll dive in. All right, Joe, take it away.
My name is Joseph. I'm usually what Joe called plugless. I don't have any
Plugless.
plugless.
Plugless and humble.
Yeah, I don't have any plugs.
Starring Tom Hanks.
That's it. I'm the.
I poured you a lot, by the way. That was,
That's
that was
not
way
enough.
more than I had intended.
I,
You'll have a lot of more plugs.
I am the replacement for David Pipkin, which is probably an upgrade. So, with that being said, you can go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. I'm Amber Townsend. I'm the host of N8 Seconds TV, an interactive TV show here in Houston. And I also am launching my celebrity brand, which is PR advertising and media. And we've got all kinds of great things coming up. We've got Star Wars Christmas coming up, the day before Christmas Eve, and so we're gonna it's cancer awareness or childhood cancer awareness, and we've got a vocal vocal competition coming up, and we've got all kinds of really cool stuff that I'm over like months and months and months and months. Singles event coming up, so all kinds of cool stuff. So
Hey,
everything's
I like that idea.
everything's launching next month, so it's super exciting.
All right.
Can married people go?
You can go. Okay,
You
let me
can,
tell
but
you.
you get in trouble.
Yes,
So let me explain this. You can come, but you have to bring a single friend, and we mark your name badge that obviously you're not single, and you cannot play in the speed dating section, but you can bring friends.
What if I want a
and
speed
interact.
date with my
I want a
wife?
speed
Yes,
date.
you can during that.
Can you imagine
directly
how
with
colorful
her.
that will be?
Directly. I thought about that too yesterday. Not yesterday, but the other day. Yeah, you can.
It would actually, you could put us up on the stage and let me and Esther go at it.
You might.
You would get lots of
And
entertainment out
I
of that.
would love for you guys to do some
we need to work on that.
I would-
Esther, be ready.
Absolutely.
Bring your A
The
game.
dating show.
Yeah, game.
It's all
Right?
good.
I'm Kristy Shelton. I am also plugless, and this is going to be less than a minute long.
Finally,
So,
someone
Wow,
else.
nothing you want to promote.
no.
Nothing.
No.
I like you already.
All right.
A kindred spirit, right?
Oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me.
What happened?
Well, it's still working. I mean, there's sound, but it's being picked up off of, yeah, it's being picked up off of me. Okay, just so you know, guys, real quick here, as my daughter is panicking in the background, I didn't even notice. The mic we have in studio, apparently somebody borrowed it, and it picks up way better than the Mevo microphone, which is our camera microphone. So she's frantically running out of the room to find the microphone.
Go,
It's going to
go,
be in
go,
Troy's
go.
office way down
Go,
at the
go,
end
go.
there, yes.
Last live TV.
Yes, you know, oh my gosh.
This is why I don't film live.
We're all going to talk like this.
Yes, yeah. It picks up okay.
And I
It
have
just
too many
sounds
bloopers.
Everyone has to
Now
talk
for
in
the
together.
hearing impaired.
it just
You know, the old
sounds it just
Saturday
sounds
Night Live
very
bit?
roomy. It sounds very roomy.
We
Yeah.
can put on the captions.
God have mercy. This has been one of those days, folks. Let me tell you.
It's the
Um,
silly season.
It
It's
makes me feel
Christmas,
good because
so.
this is my very first live show. I filmed on the red carpet, and they didn't have the heart to tell me that
No sound.
there was no feed. There was no
Oh,
feed.
It was a good practice run.
No feed. Like they went the whole time and never told me. I was so sad.
Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. This
No,
is
There you go.
all right. Now we have sound.
Sweet.
All right. Yay, we have
Is
sound.
this thing on?
Yeah. That now, like the audience is hearing, thum 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 thum.
Sorry, guys. Check, mic check.
All right, so we should have sound. All right. Yes. So Robert, as you were saying, the sound is clear there.
Good.
The sound should have been good, except it was a very roomy sound. So hopefully now that we have this mic plugged in, you should be able to hear us without as much echo. So we had just question marks like what?
Thank you, Crystal.
All right, Steve looks like he just got out of court. So I guess
he
he was.
got acquitted.
I guess he was acquitted.
Yeah, I was acquitted.
The boots.
All right, so
Love your
so if it sounds better now, just chime in and make me feel at least that much better about the madness that was finding the microphone.
It's okay.
Let us know
Anyway,
you hear us.
guys, you're witnessing live TV, right? This is what happens with live TV, and even better, you're witnessing live TV that's ran by me and my daughter. So, with everything else that has to be done with the show, other than just the technical aspect, so that's
We're
quite a
keeping
bit.
it real.
It's okay,
Keeping it real.
yeah.
So, that being said, Steve.
Well, I did not just get out of court. My name is Steve Williams. I was not just acquitted. I'm probably going to be doing 20 years. But anyway, I just
Appeals. Appeals.
Well, I've got an appeal going. Right? Yeah.
You need
that's
a few,
right.
though, just in case.
Yeah.
My shameless plug, which is not really shameless, I'm actually very proud of it. I am deeply involved in a political campaign for a gentleman who is running for Congress. His name is Danny Whine. He is running for the 22nd District of Texas, and he wants to be your congressman. If you live in that district and are looking for a change of pace, this guy, if I'm involved with a campaign, let me tell you something, it's got to be legit. I mean, it takes an awful lot for me to see the value. And I gave him both barrels when I first interviewed with him and talked to him about what his visions were. And it was downright scary how good he is. So, Danny Whine for Congress. Pay attention to your ballots coming up in March. If the primaries are on March 6th, early voting starts in mid-February. So, get out and vote. You'll like it.
Very good. There's a shameless plug. So, do what? That involves you? What involves you?
March.
Oh, voting, yes. My daughter is turning 18 in a mere matter of days.
2 or 3 days. The 17th.
Then
Yes.
get out and get
So
registered
she
to
will
vote.
now be able to vote.
Yes, register.
Yes. So all the comments you see on the feed, Ashley Orsak, judge her harshly.
Or you could upload a clip of singing happy birthday to her.
Yes, or that.
That would be really fun.
I'm just playing. She's a wonderful daughter. So anyway, all right. So guys, this, what I've illustrated earlier, we're talking about innocent until proven guilty. David's already chimed in, and we're going to address some of your comments here. Be sure to chime in because we will discuss them. He said that's a courtroom standard, not necessarily a standard for America. Right. There's a whole other conversation there. Right. Chime in with your thoughts about this. How do you feel? Excuse me. Wow. How do you feel about allegations coming out at whatever point, 20, 30, 40 years later, and that being tried in the court of public opinion? Pro that, against that, for that? Share your thoughts on that. I'm going to give the guests bullet point time, and we'll come back to your comments.
Okay.
Good wine.
You said you were going to go from this side to that side on the bullet point side. Okay.
Yes.
He's ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
All right.
I just drew a blank. No, I'm just kidding. Did that go with the nose? Sorry. Well, from a political standpoint, I think that there is a 99.99% chance that all of these allegations are bunk. I'll say that publicly. Ooh. I think that they are totally without merit. If there's no evidence, if somebody has not gone to a process of getting a deposition made, that you have the paperwork, the paper trail, then all it is he said, she said. That's my bullet point.
Okay.
Okay. I would want to bring up the idea that, so Joe, you said, would someone lie? Who would lie about this? Well, that's the frame of mind that you have. But I think
I was just asking a question.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm not necessarily subscribing or saying that's your viewpoint necessarily. But
I will play both sides of the aisle as the host.
But for years, when a woman comes forward, it's been immediately, it's got to be false. She's just doing it for attention. She's just doing it for money. She's just doing it to discredit someone. But then I feel like we're coming to a place where we're seeing a lot of people coming forward, and it is credited. It is credible, and it's woman after woman after woman. We think about Bill Cosby. Yeah. How many women had to come forward to take those allegations seriously? And I think we're coming to a shift where women feel more comfortable.
He took in his nephew. He was a doctor.
Yeah. The whole world loved him.
Hey, you could still be a pervert.
Mr. Huxtable, yes.
Right. No, I was just describing the Cosby. No, but seriously though, with that character, he played. The crazy thing is, he played a character on TV that was this massively lovable guy. Exactly. This is what I'm getting at. Yeah. And so it is difficult. Like, you're going to come out against, like almost like an America's Dad kind of a character.
Okay. And stand-up comedy as
well.
Right.
So,
that's felt like we knew him
absolutely.
A little bit better than the average
exactly. It's absolutely, it would be difficult to come out. I 100% see that point. Sure. I didn't mean to.
Oh, that's okay. We have a minute. So
okay, yeah.
We want to go next.
Yes, bullet points.
I just want to pull that up.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I was talking about earlier was like the Me Too campaign, a lot like what you're saying. People are coming forward. Hey, you know what? I've never shared this with anyone else, and the importance of that. But I also believe that someone knows the details. You don't have things like that traumatically happen in your life and not share those details with someone. So I think, I do think there has to be facts. I do think that someone knows more information than they've brought forward. Until they do go to court, you won't see those things. So, but I'm, kudos to someone for coming forward. But I kind of get both sides of the story where politics is politics. And waiting so long, do not wait. Get the facts and get it out there and step forward so that you don't have a situation like this where it's a gray area. Or it's stories that have been repeated over time that have additional information that were never there and it never happened.
Joe?
My first thoughts on this is 40 years, 35, 40 years. No offense to anybody sitting here in the room, but it's a very long time.
It is too long.
a very long time. And like Steve said, if it's all basically he said, she said, and there are some places in the world still to this day where you need 4 male witnesses for them to accuse one man of rape or sexual assault or things like that. But here in the United States, I feel
Because
like
you can't trust women, so.
Well, I certainly
And there's
don't.
usually 4 men in the room when those types of things happen.
Yeah. But I mean, I think here in the United
I think
States,
we're equally represented on the gender side.
I think here in the United States, it's too easy. A woman can say, he touched me, and you're automatically guilty, just like we were talking about in the room over there. If I said, hey, my boss, like she's my boss,
Sure.
she touched me, they're gonna laugh at me,
When
Yeah.
it's
And that's
reversed.
not right.
Right,
and
it's
that's not right. So
No.
women have more power, I guess, in that category. So if you have 20 women, and if you think, okay, one at least, is there a possibility that one could be lying or stretching the truth? If the answer is yes, then we have to question all of them.
So
Wait,
let me,
what? Can you clarify that?
I'm saying if you have 20 women that are
Okay.
saying he did this, he did this, he did this, right?
Oh, not
And
the
if-
same person. Okay, not the same man. Or the same man.
Same man or whatever, yeah.
Okay.
If there's a if there's a possibility that one might be lying, if just a small possibility that one might be lying, or stretching the truth, or just I want to jump the bandwagon. There's always a possibility of that, so we have to question each and every one of them. That's what I'm saying.
And you
yeah,
should.
You,
Yeah,
you
you
should
should.
definitely get the truth.
Always,
get
of
to the
course.
bottom of the truth.
Right.
I'm just clarifying. You don't mean we should throw out 19 people's
Oh,
testimony
of course
because
not.
one
No,
person might be.
Of course not. No.
Right.
Okay.
No.
But all
Just
through
clarifying
this
that.
entire sordid affair has been innuendo, allegation, nothing substantive put down in any procedure, legal procedure. So you can have 100 women say that Joe molested or was sexually inappropriate with women, 100 women. But in the case of Judge Moore, one of them, who the very famous one that said he wrote something very touching and loving in my yearbook, my high school yearbook, and then it turns out, no, I was the one that really wrote that. Okay, so that just blows the entire thing out of whack with her story. So
Exactly.
where is the legal procedure for
And
that?
people like
you
that-
do not get to slink away after the deed is done. The media and this woman get to slink away without any legal recourse being
Exactly.
taken against you.
And I feel like they ruin it for the actual victim.
That's
as well.
right. They
'Cause then-
destroy
exactly.
credible sexual assaults in this country with this kind of stuff, and they do it exactly for the political leverage they can use against
Exactly.
somebody.
But isn't there a law to protect someone as far as their credibility? Like, you can't say something about me that's not true because I can sue you. Because
Slander?
They
Slander.
call they
Slander
call
and
it,
libel.
if
If it's
you
in
blow
print,
the
it's
whistle,
libel.
they call it the whistleblower
Right.
clause. There's legal protections for that, but this is not that. This is a allegation against you saying something about
double-check
me,
the mic?
me discounting that. So what we need to do is have it out in court. Let's bring the evidence.
Sure.
Let's get this out.
Right.
I want to clear my name. I want you to have your the process. Nowhere in this whole thing was due process ever executed. It's all been done in the court of public opinion, and it affected the votes in that state.
Right.
And that's bad. That's tragic.
So what they should do, speaking from a media perspective, which I am media, is to not be able to go and interview until you've gone to court and the case is closed. I think that would be the right
100%
Funny
agree.
how they were
Right?
going
That
to
would
the
be
media.
nice.
before
Although,
they were
I
going to
also
the
followed
media.
O.J. Simpson every step of the way.
Yeah.
I think we all did.
So
Yeah,
I
and
see, you know.
and
I got you.
and that's why it feeds it.
Yeah.
The media's job
Yeah.
is to sell eyeballs.
Right.
They are day traders of attention, right?
Right.
That's it, right? And today your attention may be worth $1, and tomorrow it may be worth 75 cents. They literally, they're day traders of attention.
Yeah.
And so if they can get you to tune in all day long to an OJ trial, then advertisement that runs during that time sells for more. And so that's why. And I just heard this on the radio today, so I don't know all the details. I don't know the woman's name or anything else. But this just came out. We have text messages, so we actually have the text conversation between this woman and a lawyer that was offered. Started out at $10,000. It ended up at $750,000. She was offered that much money to come out with a testimony against Trump just days before the election. Days. Like, it was started out at somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 days, and then as it got down to 2 days, the offer had finally hit $750,000 before she backed out. She actually didn't go through with it. But she was offered $750,000 to come out. And I'm like, if he really had done something, I'm like, trying to profit off of it like that is just so shady to me.
I'd probably
it's just
come out for
it's incredible.
You just made me think
Right.
of, like,
I mean, I would, Trump touched me inappropriately.
like Star Magazine,
He felt
Choir
me up
Magazine,
like it was
right?
terrible. I mean, where's my check?
He does have small hands, by the way.
Yes, and they were cold. So,
But that's what, like,
clammy. They were clammy.
like Star Magazine.
Almost reptilian. It was, yes.
Unbelievable.
Ah.
But
Sorry.
Yeah, but like those magazines, Star Magazine, and the Inquiring Minds Want to Know, and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
That there are people that really get into those things, and so the sad thing is if something really did seriously happen, then they do. This woman, if she waited 40 years to come forward, she needs some serious therapy because you got to get back to the root of the issue. What happened, and was it what you thought really happened? Because sometimes when you're young, because maybe
Implanted
she's
memories.
40
That's a
years
whole
young.
other thing. Psych major. You
Yeah.
can literally create memories in your own mind.
You can, and the stories, and if someone tells you, and like if you have a parent that plays off the other parent and that sort of thing, you start believing, wow, oh, I don't really like, oh, he was a pervert. Yeah, he sat too close to me. Oh, yeah, he must, oh, that was inappropriate,
I've had thoughts of things that
inappropriate,
I could not remember actually happened, or if they were a dream.
Right.
That was like a week ago,
Yeah.
not 40 years ago.
If we're talking about
I'm serious,
coming-
Steve.
No,
This is
yeah.
not- this is
coming
not a joke.
forward after a period of time, and Amber, you had mentioned that somebody always knows. You always tell someone.
Someone.
I disagree because shame is a very, very, very powerful thing, and it can carry such a cloud, such a suffocating cloud that
Let me ask
you
a
don't
question on that.
feel- Yeah.
Because I totally agree with you. I know where you're coming from with that, right? I've heard plenty of, I post stuff and I debate on my page all the time. Recently had a friend with a funny line after I put out something pretty contentious on this front. That he just said, "You like pain, don't you?" And I replied to that saying, "No, not really. I'm just not afraid of it." I'm willing to take a little heat to get people thinking and that sort of thing. On this front, with the shame thing, I get that. Like, a lot of women have said that and expressed that point. I don't understand it. I accept. I'm male. I don't get it. All right. I'm like, is that a parenting thing? I mean, is it because you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, not only if my daughter ever felt, if somebody abused her in some way, that I didn't have her back to the point that I would literally go Batman on somebody and like I would take them out. I think all my family know that. Right? Maybe that would be a sane reason that they wouldn't tell me.
But sometimes there's
Oh, it wasn't that I didn't think you would believe me, or that
know
I
what?
felt shame.
Not
I thought
all.
you might kill the person.
But yeah.
That would be a
That
valid
could be,
argument,
but
right?
Also, that
But
person that
I don't get
sexually
it.
assaults you usually tells you, if you ever tell anyone, I'm going to kill you or kill your mom.
And
So if someone
That's
has
very
gone to the
intimidating.
point of
It is intimidating.
intimidation
sometimes.
I could
They've
understand.
assaulted you, They've already assaulted you.
Now,
So they've
intimidation
already
I can
done
understand, but the
something
shame
like
thing
that
I
to
don't
you.
get.
Right.
How much of a leap would it be to believe that they would physically harm your family members or physically harm you?
Right.
No,
Or
but that
not
point
even
I
just
get.
that, but malign their name.
That point I get. It's the shame thing that I don't understand.
Right.
Like, how could
And-
anybody in that position ever think it was their fault or that they deserved it or anything?
Exactly.
I don't get the shame
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly, but it twists it.
It's fear.
The victimizer will twist their world.
Sure.
In fear. You're right.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of human nature.
I mean-
and it's not a female thing. That shame.
I'm just
is
saying
not
because
female.
my daughter's in the room, the line would go something like this: "If you ever say anything to anybody, I will harm your family." And the immediate response should be, so I'm just cueing this for my daughter in the room. Yeah, you don't know my dad.
Kick him in the balls.
Dad, I need to borrow
If I were
this
you, I would already be running.
So there
I would
are-
already be
there are
headed for the hills.
Little girls who didn't have a dad.
Yeah.
who
No, yeah, I
was-
get it.
There are many
Right.
girls and young ladies who would be lucky to have a dad like
You
Joe.
got it, because I didn't.
And there are
Me
quite
either.
a few guys like Joe out there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
bottom line is there's not enough.
Yeah.
And if a daughter doesn't feel like their father
Yeah.
is got their back, or there is nothing in the world that
And
you
see, that
cannot
part
approach
I
me
generally
about,
do understand. I do.
that takes years to develop up to the point where you unfortunately hope that nothing like this.
Sure.
You fortunately hope that nothing like this ever happens to your daughter.
But
So
I get
but
that
you
part.
gotta
But
you
you
gotta
do
be ready for
But
it.
you do at some point share with a friend. You share your story at some point in your life, unless it's just really, really out there. Because I've been through hell and back. I obviously share my story because I help others by sharing my story.
Right.
Because I let you. It took me.
I
bigger
you
the
know,
sheep
I will
is,
honestly, I want to talk about it.
It took me 30
to
years
talk about it.
It took me 30 years.
Yeah.
I that's something I really want to talk about more offline because it's the idea of shame and having shame from someone else aggressing on you. I can't wrap my mind around it.
But that would be a
So
reason
I would
why
like
someone
I want to
wouldn't come
understand it
forward.
better.
Right,
No, I
so
get it.
that
I get
addresses-
that. I get that.
That.
So I want to address some audience comment here, and then we'll kind of respond to what they're saying. So because I've been watching a lot of great stuff go by. So Ash, let's roll down the feed there.
I saw, man, you have a great ass. What was
Yeah.
That was Scott.
He wants to define harassment. So
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
So
that's a good topic.
yes.
Hi, Dad.
So just saying hello to folks as well, Ash. We have Crystal the Field chiming in. Crystal, if I remember correctly, is an older sister of one of the musicians that was on last night, and we had a pretty wild topic last night. But Crystal, your family members, older, younger brothers, I can't remember, are phenomenal. I love those guys. Amazing. I'm like giving them all the press I can possibly give them. Valley Heights. Go to their page, share it, hop on our YouTube channel. Good time to plug our YouTube channel. YouTube.com/The Whine No Whine Show. It's the whole title. And we have artist singles from the show. Phenomenal. Those guys, I could just take that thing and stick it straight on the radio. It was that good. Anyway, okay. Thanks for being on. Thanks for tuning in again, Crystal. David chimes in. He is actually posting as the Whine No Whine Show. He is headed out to, I think he said Brazoria, not Casa Nueva tonight. He's got a gig somewhere else. But he is chiming.
Road trip.
Yeah, he's chiming in from the road here. And Ashley, are you at the bottom of the page? Huh? Okay, yep, okay. He said, hello, my great pit brothers and sisters. I'm sorry I could not be here today, but I'm out saving America one musical performance at a time. Hope you have a great show. I'll see you very soon. In fact, I think next week. Yes, he will be on next week. Esther said, hey, I'm here. Robert Jeter, he was on previously. Sharp kid, love having him on. We have to get him on again. David chimed in again, and he said, innocent until proven guilty is a courtroom standard. It does not apply to the political arena. A candidate for office does not have to be proven guilty in a courtroom in order for citizens to decide not to vote for that candidate based on allegations of wrongdoing. I really want to talk about that because our media can paint that courtroom any color they want, and
That's right.
that's the problem I have with it. And let's face it, I also have a big problem with our president being decided on his debate skill ability. Last time I checked, debate was not the governing factor of what makes a good leader. Right? Just because you look good on TV and can talk well does not mean you know your butt from a hole in the ground when it comes to having good policy decision. Right? So I have a big problem with all of our politics all coming down to the debate, and does this guy look pretty on TV, and can he really control the crowd in those, that kind of situation. Not everybody who's a fast thinker on their feet makes a good politician. And just the same, not every person who's accused of something as serious as a sexual crime is going to deal with it well on TV. The very fact that a person is accused on TV or it has to deal with it in a public setting could entirely rattle that person. To the point, like, I don't know what to say, but like I've never, ever had anybody accuse me of something anywhere remotely like this, and consequently, you don't speak well when you're being interviewed about it. I think that's entirely possible and entirely reasonable, and that a person's entire life could be shut down, your career's lost, in some cases, marriage and family destroyed, business
everything.
lost, etc., all in the court of public opinion, tried by a media who is known for it's a proven fact that they put false stories forward and then, on page 11, weeks later, retract them. It's a proven fact. Credible entities like the New York Times have done it, etc. So I have a big problem with being tried in the court of public opinion. All right.
I think we in general need to hold the media these days to
more accountable.
More accountable, but they're
Yes.
not going to answer just any Joe Blow schmuckatelli on the street that maybe even have a subscription to the New York Times. They don't care.
No,
They're
don't.
there to
Sell
shape
eyeballs.
public opinion,
Sell
and
eyeballs.
get things done the way they want to see it.
Especially
So,
CNN, counterfeit news network.
They're
They're horrible.
you know, all of them have been proven to present.
ABC,
put
always
false-
broadcasting crap. They're all the same thing.
Okay, so to fly through the individual comments real quick here, and then we'll get back to our guest. David said again, Joe, the question you just asked is the one we ought to be talking about. However, the problem is we can never get a rational discussion on the question because of people who are entrenched in ideology and political party interest. The same people who say that charges against Roy Moore are unfounded would have jumped at the chance to use those charges under the same circumstances against a Democrat, especially if Democrats named Clinton or Obama. Entirely true. It's very much a political ideology thing.
I'm going to go.
We'll get
that
that.
point, Steve.
David, I wish you were here. We would have a discussion on
He's
that.
got a point, Steve.
You cannot sit
Now,
there
I
and tell me that.
I
There's
dislike
no way
David
it's
just
gonna-
like
no.
everybody else, but he's got a point here.
Well, he's making
Okay.
a point.
Okay,
because
so
he's-
hang on, guys.
He's texting. He's safe.
Hang on. We've
He's
got
safe from cross-examination.
No
just
need
a
to
few
cross
more
examine.
comments here. David said his main point, so we'll let him wrap this point up. My main point here is that Judge Moore may well have been guilty, but that still could be reasonably not enough in the minds of intelligent voters not to send him to office. Sadly, we never really had the conversation, did we? So he's like, he could really have been guilty, but we didn't get to that point. We just had the court and public opinion, if you ask me. Anyway, Robert Jeter said, we the people need to take the power away from the media from being able to try people in the court of public opinion by recognizing their bias and tuning it out until facts are known.
Right.
It really is on us.
I agree.
Elections determine
He
policy.
just nailed it. Oh my God, Robert! Thumbs up!
That's what I said.
She did say
And
that.
I am
She did say
that,
yes.
yes.
But I also
I
share a
know.
positive
She
story.
did say that.
It's just not as valid because she's a
I know,
woman,
I
right,
know.
Steve?
He didn't
Exactly.
give you a thumbs up.
Elections determine
She did
policy,
say
and
that.
there's no room for speculation either way.
You know I give you a double.
Ashley Bradley said, Ashley's a regular on the show, and Ashley is a great Googler. And Ashley, I want to ask you to Google something for me real quick. What were the allegations against Roy Moore? I need to know that. From who? What were the actual
Give us all the
allegations?
facts.
If you can
Facts.
do some Googling for me and find that. She says there is certainly a double standard about this too. We kind of touched on this earlier. She said, if you have been keeping up with the Melanie Martinez thing, I have not. I don't know who she is. People are saying the victim is lying and Melanie would never. A woman says it against a man, though, and instantly they will jump to the woman's defense and attack the man.
Well, there shouldn't be
She
any
brought that-
attacking to begin with. And
But that happens.
going back to the media, there's a good seed in everything. We see that the media has run rampant in all directions. However, there is a good seed there. There is a good seed in true journalism, and here we're having things fleshed out in all sorts of ways. So, you know, we've just got. If we think about the comedian, I'm forgetting his name, and
Al Franken?
No. Yes, there was that. But there was another stand-up comedian, very successful stand-up comedian. He talked about, he made jokes about flashing himself in front of people, and totally made jokes about inappropriate behavior, describing describing specifically the wrongdoing he was doing on stage, making jokes about it for years. And that's what was happening behind the scenes. So we're not just seeing false accusations. We're seeing people that are trusted, that and he was supposedly a champion of women. So we're seeing people that were trusted by
and
the
Bill-
public
You're
media.
not talking about
Him and Bill Clinton campaigned often for
No.
women's rights.
No.
Okay, not him.
I want to say Larry David, but I don't want to malign his name. It was I don't think it was Larry David. It was he was a redheaded comedian with a beard. I mean, you can we can Google. I
Not
can.
Carrot
Oh,
Top.
his dad.
No.
It He's a dad, right? He's dead now.
No.
Well, if he was a
No.
Trump supporter, he'd be all
No.
over
You
the
think he has
news,
Sam
so
Kinison?
that's for sure.
That's
I
true.
don't think he's redheaded.
So he must not be a Trump supporter.
Anyway,
Oh, we'll figure it out.
right.
We're gonna Google
Okay,
this.
Right?
Scott asked a
Oh,
great
yeah.
question. I think we need to address. He said another question we need to ask.
Louis C.K. Sorry.
No phones
Louis
allowed
C.K.
on
Oh,
these.
wow.
That's cheating.
Mass talking.
Another
Yeah.
question
Talking
we
about-
need to ask, which is where my concern lies, is what is it we are classifying as harassment? Is it someone saying, "Man, you have a great behind, derriere,
Ass.
posterior"?
Ass.
This is the PG
Oh,
show,
sorry.
Joe. Gosh.
Sorry.
Does that qualify as #MeToo, or does that just qualify me as a jerk? Is saying someone has a nice butt harassment?
Are you my boss?
I wouldn't care. I
Context.
Think if you can't speak to me like a woman, that is.
I
harassment.
usually say.
Well, if a boss or a
Well, I mean, that
coworker
makes
does
it
it
even
to you
more. Somebody on
publicly
the street
or in
or a
private,
coworker
that's
or a
inappropriate.
boss. Exactly.
We've all been in workplaces before where they have great sections in the HR
What if
manuals
you're at a
where
bar?
it's not
Is
appropriate
that
for
harassment?
you to do something like that,
I would still think
and
that's.
it's not good for
Yes.
a work environment.
Right. You
So
should,
the people that are not directly affected, if I'm in my cubicle and I hear some guy talking to some girl and he says, "Oh, you have a great $, then
It's like a math
it's going
formula.
to make me think, "Oh crap, what am I doing here? Why do I got to work in such a place? It's just
like a
it's
pervert.
awful."
Like
You know,
it's a
and it may
pervert.
sound
That's
weak,
so
but
If
I
a
mean,
train
I
in
don't know,
Baltimore
it's a distraction.
That's a
leaves
pervert.
at 40 miles per hour, does the $$ have a great? Sorry.
What I usually
perversion.
say. No, what I
That's
usually say.
degrading to a woman.
It's
No, it's
degrading.
not.
It would be degrading to
Yes,
you.
it is.
No, it's
Yeah.
not if you word it the right way. You
If
can
anybody
say-
says anything
No,
about my,
no.
I
You
want to
can-
hear what it
Hey,
is.
You
where
can
he's going
say.
now.
You can
Dollar
say.
sign.
For example, you can
Let
say.
Right now, Joe has a shovel in his hand. We're going to see
Yeah,
how deep this hole goes.
Watch him dig it.
Hey, Joe, how's the view down there?
Yeah, right now he has a spoon in one hand and a shovel in the
just
other.
saying.
Let's see.
I mean, you can just say.
What's faster?
Let's see which one he
Well,
chooses.
first, what you do is you can walk up, right, respectfully, and you say, "Excuse me, ma'am, you must squat
Are you in a nightclub?
obviously.
anywhere." Okay. Oh, you must do
You
curls.
must work out.
You must do curls. Is that better?
I would think so.
If you're talking
So-
about this part or this part, it's inappropriate. I don't care if you're my dad. I don't care if you're my sister. I don't care if you're
Never
anyone
commented.
other than my husband.
So what if I have
Never
like
commenting
don't
on
need to
any of my
make
that-
kids'
No, no, no.
body parts
Yeah, that's
ever.
weird.
Yeah, that's
That's
actually a
weird.
good,
Woo.
a good.
That'd be
So
that'd
what
be
if I?
weird.
What
That
if I?
means you're
Don't comment.
objectifying
Yeah.
that person.
So what if I objectify?
That's
Hold on,
you don't
Steve.
understand.
Steve.
Okay.
Let-
What
let
if-
the- let- he
what
still
if
has
I-
his shovel.
You're saying you objectify this or this?
Either
What if
or.
I either or? Okay,
I
exactly.
don't say, hey, nice.
Exactly. No, exactly. So what if I
Package.
objectify?
That's weird.
What if I objectify your shoulders?
You don't need
What if
to.
I
What if his
objectify
big
your-
shoulders?
my
your-
teeth.
Your teeth, exactly. What if I say, hey, you have nice teeth? That's okay, right?
This is sexually related.
Your teeth also
This
can
is
be sexual.
Sexual.
Your teeth can also be sexual.
Lips,
Well,
Lips,
you
neck,
don't go
wrist,
there.
whatever, hair,
Don't go there. That's just
hair,
creepy.
hair,
That's creepy. Talk
hair. No, I
you don't
get.
know me
I,
like that.
hang on, I get his point. I get his point.
Thank
Right?
you, Joe.
I get it.
I feel like I'm
I
being
get it.
attacked. I'm
Hair-
being assaulted.
Breast.
Would you
boob,
quit? Stop assaulting
Private
Joe.
parts.
Stop assaulting
Right.
me.
Private
You're
parts.
verbally
Quit,
assaulting me.
quit verbally harassing Joe.
Private parts. We teach kids when they're little. Don't touch my private parts. Don't talk
Okay,
about
so
my
let me
private
add. Like, look, in many cultures, a woman's hair is seen as a sexual thing.
There's
right?
some creepy people out there. Stop
Joe, calm down.
Sorry.
So, in other words, I know where Joe. Like, where's the
Exactly.
line? Where's the line? Like I can't compliment you in any way because I don't know what level of offense that you may have.
Because people have foot fetishes and weird stuff.
Right.
like
This
that.
is what I'm saying.
What if he's got a tooth fetish?
But there's no. I've had people like that. There's just weird smiles or eyes or just weird stuff. There's some creepy.
Like I
weird
compliment people's smiles.
people
Now
out there.
I'm going to be self-conscious about complimenting people's smiles
You can be
because
that's
there's going to be
well, how
some
are you
woman
saying-
somewhere.
You've got a really
Nice
nice
smile.
smile. Are you saying you've got a really nice
Got to
smile?
roll your eyebrows
That'd
a little
be-
bit.
That'd be great for my
Yeah,
show.
Yeah.
You know.
you got a nice mouth.
No, this almost.
once-
Oh, they
once-
put that in a movie.
I
Yeah.
once
know.
complimented a girl's mustache. That didn't go too well.
Don't
It
go
did
there.
not go too well.
Just-
How many
But
teeth
do you
lose?
see where I'm getting though? It's where he's saying what defines what defines harassment? Like, for me, I think this is a very valid question to ask. Like, you get people
Actually, look
that
at
are
dictionary
offended
harassment.
over anything, literally
that's
anything,
true.
right? I have literally held a door open for a woman, and she took offense to that,
Exactly,
right?
exactly,
So
exactly.
she stopped and looked at me with this great tone of voice and says, "I don't need you to hold the door for me."
That's when
that
you
mean?
slam it in her face,
No,
Joe.
no.
That's when you slam it in her face, Joe.
No.
And then she gets offended that you slammed it in her face.
Great biblical
And then there's me. You didn't open the door for me.
And then she's right. Oh, sorry. She's right
great-
behind
I'm
you.
kidding.
a great biblical principle that holds true here and works every time. Keep burning coals of kindness on your enemies.
Yes.
So-
There's some
I'm glad
evidence.
you
So
said that.
I continued to hold the door, and I just looked at her and I said, "I didn't hold it open for you because you needed it held open."
It's a choice.
And I stood there and held the door, as if to say, "You will have to find another way into this building. Otherwise, you're going to walk through this door with me holding it."
Sure.
Exactly.
It's not your
It was
fault.
very passive aggressive. I admit that.
She just has.
But I was telling her, I was telling the person, "Look, I don't hold the door for you because I felt like you're physically incapable of opening the door. Like, you look so weak and feeble as a woman that you couldn't, open the door, and you needed the big strong man to do it for you." I'm like, I'm just trying to be nice,
she
I
needed a
opened the
hug.
door for
right?
Well, this
But I'm
I opened
saying
the
though,
door for
But if
so
you tried to hug her,
Like-
she would really flip out.
right, and then I would have been sexually
That's very rare,
assaulting
though.
her. I would have had a
Hey,
sexual
you,
assault.
You assaulted my
You're in my
knuckle.
you're in my
there.
3-foot rule.
She assaulted my knuckle, Joe.
You're in my circle hood.
So harassment is aggressive pressure or intimidation.
My daughter's literally putting it on the screen.
She's already got it.
Harassment is aggressive pressure or intimidation. But that's still very subjective, right? I say, "You have a beautiful smile." He was aggressively pressuring me.
Not everything is black
I
and white.
felt he was
Well, then
coming.
that's just
He
being
was
too
coming
overly
on to me
sensitive.
so strong.
Yeah.
I'm like,
glad you said that because I was raised black and white, and I have now learned to be happy. And really appreciate, saying, I was so
but I've learned to be.
There is,
I've
but
learned to be
not.
happy.
There's
everything,
not.
everything was so structured.
I love that transition. That was
It
awesome.
was so structured in my life that I didn't know how to take it a compliment.
Joe.
And now I'm like, thank you.
You're really nice.
Thank
You know
you.
where-
Do you feel intimidated?
Joe,
That was just awkward. That was just awkward. That,
I'm
you know,
the
like,
type of person
you're
that,
like seriously close to
Joe,
me.
Joe,
Yeah, it's
Joe.
weird. Like
Joe,
yeah, your hands are
I'm the
gonna be
type of
touching
person
things.
that if I compliment you, you don't say thank you, I take it back. You gotta
Okay.
take that compliment back. So no, you don't have nice teeth.
Do you make a physical motion? Take
Yeah,
it
but
back.
see where
Yes.
Joe and
That
this
hurt.
entire show
That
is
hurt my
based
feelings.
upon the country losing its ability to have a civil discussion. I think the country has also learned how the interaction between the male and the female of our species has turned into more of a jousting match. It's a competition. Why should I compliment you? Because I think that you put yourself together today well.
There's nothing
You've done
wrong
the
with
same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, hey, if we can't, without insinuating sexual
Right.
overtones
Right.
with a greeting to somebody that I barely know or somebody that I've known for 20 years. Come on, people, grow up. I mean, this is not. We need to get beyond this jousting and this competition that says, I'm going to get one up on you because I think you look great,
Joe.
and I'd like to get something else going somewhere on the side. But
Joe,
that's the insinuation side.
Joe,
that's
if
just
I
totally
if I
destroying
told
this
you that
country.
you had a nice $$, would that be sexual harassment? Because you do. It's all right.
But you would think, why?
Sorry.
Why do you? Why? First of all, why are you looking at my $$? Is what you would really.
I mean, it's
think.
there. It's there. You know,
But-
left, right.
I would
left,
definitely
right.
think that from Joe.
But there's class. There's class.
Yes, there is.
So
And then
that's when I
there's-
come in. I say,
Yeah.
Joe,
So-
you've been
so-
hitting the
Okay,
squats.
3-foot rule.
So-
3-foot
Sorry, I'm
rule.
sorry.
So is
3-foot
there-
rule.
Sorry. Ooh.
I'm really weird about
Okay,
that. My
so-
boobs are right here.
So can you be classless yet not harassing?
Yeah.
Right?
Classless
I mean-
without being non-harassing?
Yeah. So in other words,
is it
like
non-
I'm just tacky, but I'm not being harassing.
But you're
I'm
not
sexually
aggressively
harassing.
tacky?
Right.
Or
Right.
No sexual
Yeah.
innuendos.
Harass. Yeah.
I would just choose not to excuse it at all.
Yeah.
You know,
Then you're
I think
just
there's lots of
tacky,
ways to
yeah.
interact between
Think of
people that's just.
think of a woman as your daughter, or someone's wife, or someone's daughter. What would you say to that person if you can't? If you can't say that to my daughter, then you shouldn't be saying it to me, is how I believe.
But I think it
There
would be
you go.
great if, as a
You just
society,
nailed
we
it.
could just grow to where you just don't say that to another human being. Like, you just don't say that.
Compliments
Not
are-
everyone has daughters. Not everyone has
Yeah.
sisters.
But
Not
compliments are
everyone has a
okay.
great relationship with their mother.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't
but
either.
some people want to
Compliments-
choke their
Mother.
Compliments
yeah,
are okay.
I don't, but I'm
Compliments
sorry
are
to say that may sound like I want to choke
my
my
mother's
mother.
wife.
Okay.
We should compliment.
You're
We should
right.
But, like,
compliment.
we
should
recognize
be able to
Now she
receive
knows- now
each
she knows I
other,
wanna
we
choke
respect
her.
each
Not
other.
talk about
Yeah.
That
specific body
stocking's
parts.
coming down.
It is.
Fair enough.
You just shouldn't talk about
So-
specific body parts. That's just a rule of thumb.
Then why?
Ashley,
Then why wear nails?
I do like it when people
Specific
compliment
body
my nails.
parts.
Nails are specific.
Mhm.
Trust me, I'm not looking there.
I'm
but-
saying not those 3 body parts.
So there's 3 now. There's 3.
You have,
Yeah,
a,
I thought you said 2 earlier.
you have a front and a back.
See
and a,
how he's competing?
So
He's-
No,
he's-
but there's
he's-
2.
He's
There was
actually
2.
illustrate what I was saying earlier. He's
Steve,
keeping
there
the
were
score.
2 earlier. Now there's 3.
I know. I got it. I can count.
I said earlier. I just didn't say what
She
the other
made
one.
motion of
Yes, and I
things.
didn't say what they
We
were
don't have
because
to
I don't
count
talk like that.
Well,
the
what?
sex-related
not-
body parts.
But
Right.
no, it's not necessarily those specific body parts. I think you make a really good point that
Right.
you can make someone very uncomfortable by talking about a particular body part in a particular
And-
way. It
and
doesn't have to be
let's-
breasts. It
let's-
doesn't have to be the butt.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be
Exactly.
And let's be honest, ladies.
vagina or penis. I don't know.
Let's be honest. I don't know who popular, sexy guys are. I have no freaking clue.
That's probably,
Uh,
me, Joe.
Dan Shelton,
Dan Shelton?
Who's that?
my husband.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
was
I
gonna
can't
say,
use him, though.
No,
It's not fair to
please
Amber.
don't.
You can use me
He's all
though.
mine.
Lorenzo
but-
Lamas.
Who's a popular, good-looking guy? Give me somebody. Please help. Other than Joe.
Oh, okay.
That'd
You're out, man.
Joe,
Just
that'd be
forget it.
awkward here if they
Sorry,
both
it
just.
would be.
I love Michael Bublé, but I love classy
Okay.
men.
Okay. Can we go
He's
with Michael Bublé?
He's my guy.
All
But I
right.
don't know what he looks like underneath, and I don't care what he looks like.
So-
underneath. I look at his
Now,
face.
can you imagine if I said I don't know what she looks like underneath?
I'm saying it's not sexually
That's
related
not-
to
Wait,
me.
wait, wait.
That's double standard.
No,
That's
Wait, I was
double
going-
standard.
She's
No,
specifically
Actually, that-
saying
actually,
I'm not
if
talking
I
That's
about
a
would
funny
have
point.
said that, if I would have said that, the ladies on the show would have been like,
I
You'd
don't
been out the
refer
door.
to him.
So you brought. He
I
actually
don't
brought up a very
That's
good
a-
point there.
that's a
He
good
turned
point.
the page.
I was trying
Exactly.
to say I would never talk about his body parts.
No, you
Other
said,
than-
I don't know what he looks like
I know you wouldn't.
underneath.
I know you wouldn't either.
So let me ask you a question.
Because his wife wouldn't
Because
appreciate
I
it.
think this is. I'm trying to make an extreme point, but nevertheless, to draw a smaller conclusion from it, because I think this is definitely relevant with both sexes.
Yeah.
If
More than 2 seconds.
a guy who looks like he still lives with his mom in the basement when he's 40, who has got a serious case of ugly going on, says, "You have nice legs." The likelihood that he would be harassing versus Michael Bublé
Exactly.
saying,
I disagree.
You have
because
nice
I've had
legs.
very attractive men talk to me in unwelcome manners
Yes.
just as much as I
Oh,
have.
absolutely. Because they think they
Unattractive
have. Exactly. Right.
And I disagree.
here, this,
The creep factor is still there just
It is.
as much. For me
I
personally,
think the
for
creep
everyone,
factor is still
Maybe
there.
just
I
for
think
you,
your
though.
likelihood to not like it is not as high.
I
It's
did not-
still
no.
inappropriate. It's
That's
See, and that's
fine. I
not-
just think it's still not as high. It's like I can hop on Instagram and the girls that are going to be most likely to complain about being objectified are going to be the ones that have 800 selfies with a cleavage shot. Like
right. Because
Right?
they're doing that on purpose.
right? Yeah, I'm like, but wait,
No,
you don't
I
want to be
think I
objectified, but
purposely
you're
take-
creating
I think
objectification
that's
of your
part-
body.
That's
For
part of the Me
instance-
Too campaign, so that it's
Right.
not just the girls that put themselves out there like that.
I started-
It's just any girl.
I've even created my pictures now where they're from here up, so you can't even look at it. You can't even look at it,
Look
and
at
it's a
what?
part of my
That's-
body.
I mean, not
and I
that, yeah,
shouldn't
not
be
that you should be
ashamed
ashamed of it at all.
Yeah. I do, because people were
Can
making
they hear
comments
that?
on my page, and my kids and my family, my aunts and my uncles were like, "Who are these perverts staring at your boobs on the internet?" I don't know. I'm not showing them my boobs.
Yeah, I
You
never
know,
think about that.
you can have a shot
Yeah.
that includes your boobs that's not showing boobs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They're
Like,
up to.
but you don't have to spend a lot of time on Instagram.
But it's not even about
She's gonna be
Amber's
snapping
boobs.
at
Like,
I'm
it's
saying
not
you don't have to
about
spend much
me.
time
need
on
to have
Instagram
boys'
though
night. That's what we need to have.
to see what I'm talking
But
about.
I've been
No.
there. When I was insecure, I was showing everything. I was like,
That-
look at me, I'm
that's
skinny.
what I'm-
Woo, look at
That's
But I was-
all. That's all.
I was
anyway,
insecure,
That's a
and
male.
does
I
was
everybody
a-
see where this conversation is
and I
going?
Sorry, this is a male
Yeah.
gripe.
Yeah.
This is really interesting because they're watching us interact here.
Yes.
And they know all of the innuendos and everything that we're saying. You
Yeah.
actually turned a page from being a creep factor to somebody who was actually on the verge of doing some harassment here.
Exactly.
And you illustrated that perfectly by just a little while ago. Somebody will rewind this and look at it, but I really think you did that very well. And really, it's all how we interact. I mean, we can't legislate this behavior. People are going to be what they're going to be. They're either going to be very much ladies and gentlemen, young boys, young girls. They're going to be brought up properly, or they're not.
Right.
And they're
we
going to
need
be a problem for the rest of their life.
But we need to teach them that it's not okay. Like next time he sits
That's
next to
right.
me, he knows he's not going to be putting his hands anywhere near certain. Just don't reach out from
Joe,
me
yeah.
because it
I mean,
bothers me
man.
because of a lot of reasons. But it doesn't mean you're a bad person. But if you sat next to her today,
Obviously it
probably-
does.
Well, it does bother me because not because.
Obviously it does. You're not even my type, sweetie. So that's
Well,
all I
see,
got.
there we
well,
go.
see, there you go. I mean, he just took, when he turned that page, man, he just
As my
shut
daughter,
it.
as my daughter pulls
But
up
he-
the images of the shovel.
What he didn't
Yeah.
tell you is he hit me in the boobs earlier when he was talking with his hands.
Did he really?
Yes.
I didn't
That's
notice
intimidating.
And that
Nobody
pisses
even
me off.
realized.
It's
That's
lucky he didn't get
intimidating.
slapped. And so when his hands started coming my way again, then I became defensive because you've
Defensive of
already
what?
bumped me in the boobs once.
Defensive
That-
of
And
what?
then, so that's why I went there.
And this is
Well, I was
exactly
waiting
what
for
we're
you to
talking
smack
about.
it.
Now
It is
if
you
I run
got
for
it.
office, she
You
can say,
can't.
"Hey, this
You
guy
can't
touched me
now, sorry.
inappropriately." And
Well, it's on camera now, man. It's
obviously-
on the internet. It's going to come back and haunt you in
obviously,
20
that's
years,
not
dude.
even my favorite part.
You are
of the-
done.
Tag
We're gonna
that.
make
Put that in the
songs
feed.
about this.
No.
Put that.
We're
Put
gonna
that.
make
Put that in the
remixes.
feed, Ash. Put that in the feed.
Lord, my mother's watching. Now she's gonna be so upset with me.
Joe is.
She
using
probably
a
knows how clumsy you are.
Joe is just using a spoon to dig a hole.
Wait, there is no spoon.
There we go.
Oh, this is such a we kind of meandered all over the place with this topic, which
But
is
it's good
you know,
stuff.
that's the fun of it.
People are learning from this.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you know what? That's the fun of the show in talking about a subject that is very sensitive, and when there's very intense feelings on one or both sides of the table, talking about it and just simply bringing it out
Right.
is healing and is good for our society. I think it's something we need to do more of. That's the whole point of the show. So, wrapping up with the Roy Moore thing. Oh, by the way, Ash, serious point. Go back to Ashley's brief Google search
Thank
summary.
you, Mom. Can you scroll up, please? Joseph would never touch a lady on purpose. Thank you. Can you please? Jesus Christ. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah.
For once, I'm
I
glad you're
didn't say he
watching.
touched me on purpose. I said he touched me, and that his hands kept still coming the same
Zac
direction.
Efron.
And it's going to happen again.
We were asking for hot guys there.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, sir.
Scott's chiming in with Zac
I didn't
Efron
say
as
you
his
did it on
vote.
purpose.
I know,
I said
I'm
I have it
I
for
know.
Zac
for
Efron.
that very reason.
So she said, Ashley Bradley said, by the way, that where's it at? That 7 out. Okay, so from what I can find, there's 7 allegations against him from all girls, all ages 14 to 17. Moore would call them and ask them on dates. In some cases, he would ask them over to his house, and some went. He would try to initiate sexual contact with those who came to his house. One girl alleges he offered her a ride home and assaulted her behind a restaurant. Okay, that's the first time I've heard that one. I didn't read that one.
Well,
Reminds
that's
me
the
of my
itemized.
junior high school coach.
And she said, keep in mind
And
this
he
is a
was a
quick
pervert.
Google search in a huge summary. Ashley, I super appreciate you looking up that for me because we
Thank
didn't
you.
we didn't have some specifics on it.
Now, do you feel different?
I had not read anything about
Would
any
that
kind of
you-
actual
But still,
alleged.
It's hearsay.
Still.
It's hearsay. But that would make me feel different if you invited my daughter over.
Yeah,
Your daughter-
of course.
That's
So
right.
wait,
Prove that he
but
did
yeah,
that.
I was just gonna say
See,
again.
then
We're
they
not
have
saying
to.
there isn't proof.
They would. Then they
Is
would
there
have
proof?
to. But that would make me upset. that 40 years
The
later,
burden
that
of
would
proof-
still
proof.
make
The
me
burden of proof is on the accuser. No, Steve.
The truth
That's
is
right.
that now we're seeing not just he punched me in the boob. We're
Right.
saying, but we're saying
He was
he
luring.
masturbated in front of me. He used his power
Yeah.
over me.
He dropped his towel in front of me while he came out of a shower. We've heard that one before.
He
that was a
touched me
Weinstein
inappro-
thing,
he-
wasn't it? Yeah.
Weinstein
That
had
can
it.
be an accident.
So many things.
But those are luring.
happened to me
Those
before
are
in front of my brother.
intentional
yes,
choices that this man
Yeah.
made, knowing he's being.
it's not just I like your smile.
Yeah.
You know, so
He's-
this is heavy hitting stuff.
I mean, it is.
But again,
Yeah.
Joe does make a good point. We can't just believe the accuser every time. We
Right.
have to take into account
agree.
that what the accuser is saying
I agree.
may be true.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not putting those words
Right.
in your mouth. That's what I'm
I
saying.
agree.
My position, you know,
Yeah.
when I had this debate on Facebook, invariably I will get a female friend of mine, and it happens where it's invariably it's somebody that I really care about, and and everything else, and they're just you're a horrible person in essence for holding the position you do. But it's like, oh, so you're saying I'm a liar, I'm like,
That's not what I'm.
I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I can entirely believe you. Between you and me, I can be saying, I believe you. I don't have no reason to doubt you or otherwise. However, if we're now taking this to the arena of public, and we're now putting this out there, even though if I believe you and you seem credible to me, I still have to presume the innocence of this person until we go through the trial.
That's the law.
I can't just automatically say, well, I know we haven't had a trial. I know no evidence has been presented, but I believe you. I believe you, and you seem credible. So therefore, this person's career should be ended. Any fallout in his personal life is justified. Whatever. I'm not okay with that. I'm just not okay with that. And I can be empathetic. And I got accused of, like, you'll never understand otherwise. Well, no, I disagree because I have people very close to me who've been abused.
But you do realize that the flip side to all of this, all of these things happened 35 to 40 years ago. The flip side of this is,
in this
how
particular
the
case.
heck do you prove it?
Yes,
That
no,
it didn't happen. See, that's
it's a difficulty.
That's my side of it. But
On
I'm
both
looking at
sides.
the timing now. Why did you not immediately go to an investigator, give a deposition? That way you have the paper trail.
Because let me tell you what happens
They
when
didn't
you
have Matlock.
Final
We-
bullet
we-
points.
when you tell
Oh,
your
final-
parent.
final
when
bullet
you-
Hang on. Not everybody wants.
Not
We'll
40.
give Joe a chance. We'll give Amber a
That was
chance.
Terry Mason.
Let's start at this side, Joe.
Finish your point.
All I'm saying is that the procedures were there since the law became a law, and due process is exactly that. Due process has nothing to do with the entertainment industry, television, even journalism. That is not due process. You cannot go into a court of law these days. You can very well, if you were a juror, and they said, did you see any of this coverage of this trial, this incident on TV? So, oh yeah, man, I saw it from here. I saw it on, whatever show, The View or the Real, whatever you want to call it. And then both attorneys and both counsels will start writing and say, okay, but that is not evidence in a court of law. That will get you on the fast track of getting to see the actual evidence. So if you want to be entertained by scandal and all of these allegations, well, then that's your home, okay? But I tell you what, I would rather do it in a court of law. Let's get this all out, because those people, those girls that made those allegations, you do not get a pass. Neither does the media that foisted that on us.
Sure.
They should be dealt with severely if it's false.
Okay,
No,
that's your sum up, Joe.
Sorry.
That's okay. No.
My sum up. Quick story. Personal thing that happened to me. Quick. I try to keep it quick. Okay. St. Patrick's Day, 2013, 2014, something like that. We were all at 1960 to have a big parade and everything. And there was this lady who said, I was dating this girl at the time. And said, hey, who's this? Oh, it's my boyfriend. Okay. Oh, he's such a nice guy. He's so nice. He's cute. He's handsome. All this kind of stuff. And oh, thank you. Yeah, she was a really nice lady. Super nice. We started hanging out. Our groups kind of merged. We started drinking some beer. We're all having a good time. Okay, parade ends. We go down the street, Willowbrook area. We go to this bar, right? We go to this bar. We're all having a good time. We see the same group. The group is there. So we start merging with the group again. Hey, how you doing? This lady that had been complimenting me earlier, she comes up to me and said, "Hey, how you doing?" I said, "Oh man, I'm good. You know, everything's good. Everything's fine. Everything's gravy." She whispers in my ear, "I'm going to the bathroom. Meet me in the bathroom." And at the time, I had a girlfriend, which even if I didn't, I probably wouldn't. You know, I'm not easy, by the way.
I
So,
didn't say you
I never
were.
said you
I
said
did
I was.
say you
I don't know
were.
why
I
he was
never
looking
said
at
you said
Calm
I was.
down.
Thank you.
I never said you said I was.
Shovel.
So anyway, she said, "Hey, I'm going to the bathroom.
The
Meet
second
me
he
in the
sit next to
bathroom."
me, or I sit next to him.
You're
likes
you're talking over my story here. It's my sexual assault. You're talking over it.
All right.
Anyway, so
He's
she
gonna
said,
cry.
I'm going to the bathroom. Meet me in the bathroom." And I looked at her and I said, I don't think that'd be a good idea. My girlfriend's like right there. I didn't say that, but I said, I don't think that'd be a good idea. She slapped me on the chest. Swear to God, on Jesus Christ. She slapped me. Yes. She slapped me on the chest and she screamed very loudly. And she said, "I'm not going to the bathroom, you sick F word."
Wow.
And she slapped me on the chest and she walked off. All the homies that she was hanging out with, they ended up looking at me like this. Luckily, by that time, they were too drunk to even know what the heck was going on. But I started shaking. I was like, "Oh Jesus! Like, what's gonna happen?" Like, really, I was really scared because you're in that position. So, point of the story is, women have a lot of power. If I would have done the same exact thing to a woman and said, "I'm not gonna," everybody would have been laughing at me. She slapped me on the chest and she walked off, and I literally, at that moment, feared for my life because a bunch of guys tattoos on their faces and everything. Tattoos on the face, very scary, by the way. So.
You're
But it
That's a
doesn't-
commitment.
but it
That's a
doesn't-
commitment. It takes a
Very
lot.
big commitment.
That takes some-
Exactly.
It doesn't mean
Okay.
you beat someone up though.
So
True, yeah, true.
so
Anyway,
Joe.
so that's my bullet point.
Joe?
That's all I gotta say. My bullet point
Women
is
can be heinous too.
women
turned
can
around
be
on you.
savages.
Absolutely. They
Joe.
Can be
can
turned
be.
around on you.
I'm just for future
I'm
I'm
reference.
shaking now, Joe, thinking about it.
For future reference, I'm going to help you out. You ready? All right.
Karate chopper.
No.
Oh.
But I don't have $50.
Why didn't I think of that?
You've got it in your pocket now.
Jesus,
It's full
why
of
didn't I
anytime.
think of that?
Because you
I'm
haven't
just
hanging
helping you out, brother. You
with
got to be fast on your feet.
Damn it.
She's going to
Should've
throw you
thought
under
of
the
that.
bus. You got to throw her under the
I
bus.
got no money, woman.
All's fair in the
that
Lord.
would've been
I'm
a
broke
good
as a
one.
joke.
I don't have $50. I'm sorry. So
And that's when the
Or
bartender's
you
going to
can
be
say
looking at you.
mom's
How you going to pay
You
your
can say
tab?
15.
My mom's
Make it
listening.
even.
Now she heard that story. Never told her that story. Thanks.
So hey
Anyway,
man,
go ahead.
thanks for having the
Me
strength
too.
to come out.
Go ahead.
Thanks for having
yes,
this chat.
yes, I
Hashtag
have.
me too.
Me too. Me too.
Hey,
I get it, honey.
Dude.
I
Hey.
was just at a domestic abuse.
I will go there with you. I got a
Thank you,
story.
Joe. I
I got
feel
a
like
story.
I'm alone here,
No,
Joe.
I
it's
got,
happening.
I got a
It does
story.
happen.
I got a
Steve?
story.
And
Absolutely.
You got a nice
yeah.
tie, and you got a nice
Don't
dollar
go
sign,
there.
dollar sign.
First
Jeez,
part
oh,
cool,
thank you.
second
No, I've been
part
working on
not.
it.
First part cool, second part not.
Okay.
All right, Amber.
Bullet
Okay.
points for you.
Wrapping up
So
conversation.
you had specifically asked a question as far as how
Yes.
do you prove that it didn't happen, and or those little girls to prove that it did. So vice versa. The fact that it didn't happen. If those things were true, there are people that are going to realize that those things were happening. If he was inviting people over, it's not normal for a grown man to be inviting kids over to his home and those sorts of things.
Right.
And for the little girls that come to their mother or their dad or whomever as their source of rescue me, help me, this person's touching me, this person's doing these things, what do they say? They make threats and then they move you to another location and not a damn thing happens.
All right, so let me ask.
Yeah.
Let me ask. With
Ever.
these young girls,
Ever.
Don chimed in at one point during the deal. So Don, I saw your point. Don said one of the accusers of Roy Moore worked for Clinton and Gore, and you can verify this on PolitiFact.
PolitiFact
Right.
is fake
Now-
news, Joe.
Now, yeah. So hang on.
PolitiFact.
Roy Moore
PolitiFake.
has ran for office numerous times.
Yes.
It just happens to be that we have a very polarizing Republican president in the office who right now has a Republican Senate, so he can push his agenda through. So there's a hardcore press by the Democrats right now to overturn those seats. Does it strike you as odd that one of the accusers just happened to work for Clinton, Gore, and that after 40 plus years, after numerous elections, if it was really, they really wanted to call his character out, the people need to know this is the kind of guy you're voting on, all that sort of thing. Now it comes out when it's a really hotly contested Senate seat, is it not more suspect that it comes out at that time?
Very suspect, Joe.
I think that's
It
just
is
politics.
for me.
That's
Very
just
suspect, Joe.
but that's politics. They're always
And politics
That's what
is
it is.
sleazy.
If I
There's
run for
always some
office, this
pivotal
video
moment
will
in
be
politics
all over the
going on.
place with just this little clip
It's
of her
just
saying,
Don't
touch
even
me."
file.
Exactly. No, I won't. No.
It's
Don't
just
even
sleazy
bother.
to me.
I'll
That's
be the
all.
janitor.
I could see both ends.
So
One
I
side
see
would be
now.
it's
Now
sleazy.
And by the
This
way,
came
your
out.
mom said your girl told her. So,
Yeah.
all right. Hey, look. So I will tell
didn't even know
you.
she knew. Now some
I will tell
girl
you-
told
Not
her.
everybody knows.
This is
Your
someone
mom.
else. Someone always knows.
No shame.
someone always
Someone
knows.
always knows.
Joe.
Right.
Because you share your story.
Your
At
mama.
some point, you have a breakdown moment.
Mama,
You
Why,
share your
why does my
truth.
mom
It
have
might be
3
4 years
comments
later.
on the same
might be.
page? Can you scroll
Most
down?
likely.
Yes. So listen,
It's
Joe.
40 years later.
I will tell you when I was a young guy,
A young lad.
I worked for Radio Shack. I was the youngest manager in Texas at 19. Thank you very much. But anyway, before
Did you
that,
have hair back then?
I did lots.
Okay, great.
I worked as an assistant manager down at the Radio Shack in Montrose, which was
Your hot spot.
it was $1 million store.
That's why you have the long hair and the lipstick.
It was,
hot spot,
it was
Joe.
a high volume store. I never wore lipstick. By
I
the
know.
way. Just threw that in there. Ad libbing the conversation here.
He
See?
was with that rock or
These
that
are
duo Nelson.
This is how rumors get started.
Oh,
It was a trio
Yeah.
then.
It was a trio then. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a trio then. Yeah. I posted a great picture, by the way. I took
Must
the
be,
I took the
before my
Nelson
decade, 'cause I don't know
picture,
what the hell you guys are
and
talking
somebody said, "Oh my gosh, I know a famous rock star," and they posted a picture of Nelson, right? And so I took that picture and I said, "Here's a picture from right before I cut my hair. My brother doesn't age." And I had just edited out one of the guys' faces, and I'd like edited my current beard and gray and everything into the photo. I really worked on it so it would like perfectly blended. It just looked like my current face inside of the old Nelson.
Really good Photoshop.
Yeah, it was pretty
even
pretty
tell.
funny. Yeah. I'm like, God, my brother doesn't age, man. It's just horrible. Anyway, I worked at the store in the Montrose, and on 2 separate occasions, I'll hit the first one and then the really bad one. You frequently after hours we'd have to be stocking and all this kind of stuff, right? Well, just like this freaking building, the AC goes off at a certain hour and it's just controlled by an automated thing, right? So it gets hot, right? So I'm working summertime, Texas, whatever else. I'm wearing suit and tie and everything. So I take off all my clothes. I had an undershirt on. That was it. Undershirt, pair of pants, and slacks. And I'm stocking and doing stuff. And I'm putting something up, and a guy in the building, I was putting the VCR around, I turn around, and a guy's like looking at me, and I look at him, and he goes, just like that,
like you're a piece of meat.
and I just went, oh, like
It's the same thing though.
It
now
is.
that's
not.
It's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sexual.
But the difference is if she was telling the story and I were laughing at it, it'd be a whole different category.
Mhm.
It'd be
Depends
over,
on-
why
I
are
laugh
you
at
laughing at the
everything.
story?
Okay.
Why are you laughing at the
It's
story?
called-
Hey,
it's-
whoa, you touched my shoulder.
it's-
Hey, don't touch my shoulder.
It's
please.
called a nervous laugh.
Whoa.
It's called a
I was
laugh.
waiting.
Wine,
Don't
buddy.
touch
You
that.
had way too much wine.
Don't touch
It's called a nervous laugh.
Actually, no, I'm like this at 7:30 a.m.
It's called,
Yeah,
it's called a nervous laugh.
and then wait.
I have a nervous
I'll
laugh.
save that was definitely awkward, but I personally wouldn't like call that sexual
Now,
harassment or anything else.
if it was a female that had done that to you,
I would say bring it on.
That
I
person
probably
is-
have been like, hey, thanks.
But that person was not in a position of power over you.
No, true.
And so
True.
that's-
It definitely would have been
It's-
different and awkward.
Joe, we can go
Yeah.
on for a
Very
long time.
different.
Can we rate the wine, please? Because
All
I
right.
got a hot date
So-
tonight.
take her out for
Uh,
some tacos.
right
that's
now,
what I do,
Ashley is
Steve.
pointing at the clock.
That's what I do, Steve. I take her out for dollar tacos. Dollar
Yes.
tacos.
Oh, wow. That's okay.
Scott
We got
Scott
later.
Apley was being prophetic in predicting my daughter's behavior. He said, right now, Ashley is pointing at the clock. Yes.
You were right, Scott.
So, anyway, Ed Camp said the new norm will be future allegations 4 days before an election. Too late to effectively refute. That is correct. And look at Herman Cain.
It's a
Herman
political- I mean, it's
Herman Cain had 4 women come out and accuse him of sexual inappropriate behavior when he was the CEO of the Food Association thing, whatever else, and it was another 20-something years back deal. Totally tanked his career, and after he withdrew from the campaign, those 4 women disappeared. There was no ever nothing.
That's right.
Never.
Literally
Absolutely.
nothing came
That's
from
so
it.
weird. Why
Don't
would-
run for office, Steve.
Why should that be?
Oh, don't worry.
Intertwined
I got
with
this.
a political
All right,
campaign.
man, you better
It
cover
should
your
just
tracks.
be whenever.
My
it just-
tracks are not
It's,
It's
so
just,
silly. That makes
it's
no sense
just,
to me.
it's just really.
Are they just trying to say the credibility of this person? Kind of like those silly
Yeah.
commercials that they do back and forth. Well, this person's better than this person because they do it.
It's just, it's really disgusting to me. It's
Yeah.
really
I'm ready
disgusting.
to rate the
It
wine.
demeans people who
Ashley
actually went through
It
it.
destroys.
If you can,
yes,
like,
it does.
wrap
it
it
does,
up.
which is sad.
So
Ready to
anyway,
wait the wine. Ready
Anyway.
the wine. Okay.
another. We could probably sit here and talk for all night
I
on
don't mean
this
to mansplain
until the
you
until the
ladies,
wine
but,
ran out.
Hey,
Um,
that's my job.
You're the mansplainer.
So
I
tonight,
mansplain.
tonight we
That's my
drank Kunza is the name of it,
Kunda.
It
which
sounds African.
honestly sounds African. It does, yes. I don't know how that's Chilean.
That's racist, by the way.
No, it
Do
just
you know the
sounds
African language?
Kunza.
No, that's very racist.
Do you know the African
It
language?
doesn't matter.
That's being
It
literal.
doesn't matter.
That's being literal.
It's continental.
Just take the thing and.
It doesn't matter. 'Cause that's
He's
racist.
just trying to get you riled
my
up,
goat, yeah.
right? Yes. Oh no, now you're
We
being
can get Ashley to
farmist.
turn the camera off, and all you gotta do is.
Why it's not to be a goat that he's getting? What do you got against goats?
Right, exactly. Every
big
little
problem
thing
with
is
racism
dick
is
or
like-
He
For wine and
loves
someone
doing
I
that.
hear.
It's his shtick.
That would be really fun.
What did you hear last time with him
I
with that?
know, and I had all the same problems.
Oh my gosh! The poor anybody that's still watching is this. They're by like they've lost their mind.
That's why I was like, shit, I have to sit next to him.
They've lost their mind.
You
You
can
should
sit
feel
next to me
privileged.
next time.
Kunza,
Okay.
Cabernet Sauvignon. It's Chilean. I literally today I'm like, listen, there's a little funny Alexa story here. I'm like, I have an Alexa in my office. And I said, I think I'm either going to have a Chilean or Argentinian wine today. And Alexa goes, just chimes in, like randomly.
Oh,
like,
no way.
Always listening.
Of course
She
she
goes, Chilean wine is wine that is made from Chile.
Oh my god.
Or wine that's made in Chile. And I was like,
Call the Terminator.
I'm like, well, thank you for that brilliance, Alexa. Like, I didn't know.
That's kind of creepy though.
Yes!
She's always listening.
Yes, I was.
That's why
it
I
was
will
bizarre.
never have one of those
That's
things anywhere
weird.
near me.
I love.
You do.
I
You have a cell
love.
phone.
I don't need another
Yes,
computer in there.
I love Alexa. I really do. But sometimes
always
she's creepy
listening.
and funny. I'm like, I think I'm either going to have the Chilean or the Argentinian
Do you ever
wine.
wonder
Chilean
why-
wine is wine that is made in Chile.
Do you ever wonder why they named them
And what did you choose?
woman?
I chose the
named-
Chilean wine.
Just like boats.
Okay,
Exactly.
let's go.
Why?
Wine,
Cabernet.
rate the wine.
Crazy.
Rate the wine.
Cabernet Sauvignon from Chile,
Okay.
Kunza. We're going to rate it right now.
Okay, rate it right now. I don't
wait.
like. I don't like red wine, but this was somewhat smooth. Red wine seems to taste a little dry to me, so I'm gonna give it, because it was somewhat smooth,
Somewhat
somewhat
with a shovel.
with a shovel. Can I give it a 3.5? I'm sorry, it's probably the
Don't
lowest.
Yes, you
let
can.
anybody's
Oh,
vote.
no.
Don't let anybody's
This is
vote.
probably the lowest
Influence your
rating I've
vote.
ever given a wine here, because one time, I say this every time, Joe brought
Yep.
some, you know what I'm talking about.
I know the wine.
He brought some white wine here.
Orgoglio.
Exactly, and that ruined me for the rest of my life. It was great.
Gorgoglio?
Orgoglio.
Oh, that's that.
So
that-
I'll give this
that-
a, what did I
You've
say,
never
3.5?
brought that back.
We had
Three
it
and a
once.
half.
Alexa
Oh,
said
It was
I never
okay.
had it.
It was so good, I
And
drank it all by
luckily, I gave it a
myself.
3.5.
That's
only
pretty
because
one way.
It was free. If it wasn't free, I'd probably give it a 2.5. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, you touched
sorry,
your shoulder.
Sorry.
Stop that, Joe.
Sorry.
God.
I didn't
He
mean
touched
to.
you.
Jesus.
The Wine to Wine Show is going to have a legal defense fund now.
Sorry. Go ahead.
When guests get out of control.
Next
Why-
on Moripovich.
Alright. I would say a full 5.
Yes.
And it is such a yummy. It has a great fruit flavor. Red wine is hard for me to drink. I love if I'm going to drink a red wine, it has to be Chilean because they always have great berry flavors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like anything with oak though. So this was a great selection. It's very smooth. You could have a whole bottle, even though I don't drink that much. But it's still, you see, I didn't finish it, and I will. But
I'll
It's-
drink it if you don't.
it's,
not going to waste.
I just don't drink I don't drink anything acidic, and it's not doesn't taste acidic. That's
No.
a crazy cool thing. So
I have to tell you, I was like hiding the sheet because I didn't want to
Yeah.
bias anybody,
Yeah.
but I still have 2 people left. But I
Only
can
2
tell
people
you,
left.
for me, this is
Yeah.
absolutely a
Thank
5. This is absolutely a 5 as well for me for all the exact same reasons you said. And I like I said, I'm a fan of Chilean and Argentinian wines, so I'm definitely biased towards those. but it was like super smooth, very light, had a good fruity flavor. It had a very even finish. Even still, I kind of have this berry flavor thing going on in my mouth.
Really good. No dry. Your tongue does not get dry.
Right.
Nice.
Red wine has the worst. I usually get the worst headaches, and usually my tongue is like dry by the end of the night, and you can't even have
Too many
conversation.
tannins in that case.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yep.
This
This
so
is a
good.
very, very. I really enjoyed it. So anyway, sorry.
All right.
You can hate it. You can have a 1. It doesn't matter. It's
No,
okay.
I do enjoy red wine, and I found that this one was smooth. It was less acidic. I got fruit at the beginning and then spice at the end. So I gave it 4.
Where the hell do you guys
Whatever
come up
these
with these
things are.
descriptions over here with the less acidic and spice?
Because
I'm
we're
over
wine
here.
tasters.
I'm over
You
here.
said you're a beer
So
guy.
you really should try
I'm
wine.
over here saying, man, that shit was dry.
It was
You really should have wine more often, Joe.
That shit was dry.
Come by my office. We'll have
Yeah,
wine
right.
together
You pair
sometime.
wine
Yes.
with food, you pair wine with.
That's
it's
right.
This-
I've always said that.
A lot of times,
Steve,
a lot of
Okay, here we
times.
go. All right.
Steve, go ahead, because
Go ahead.
I'm late already. Let's go.
You're late. Okay,
I'm
late
late.
for the date. Well, take
probably
the shovel
left
with you.
already.
You're gonna need it. 4.5. I like it because it was great on the front, sexy in the back, and I
Whoa,
tell you,
whoa.
I
That is
I
very-
enjoyed it.
Whoa, that's sexual
That's harassment of the wine,
That's
Steve.
sexual
So
wine
consider
feels
the
into
wine be harassed.
Sorry.
Take me to
I
court.
know you did it. I
Sorry.
know.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to touch you while I was putting the paper down there.
Did you see that?
Sorry.
Did you see
What a
that?
great way to wrap up the show. Joe is now
God.
inappropriately
You're gonna have
touching
to sit
Amber's
over here
leg.
next time away from
Yeah,
Joe.
really. I'd actually much rather touch Steve than
And
you, to
I'm
be honest
touchy
with you.
feeling. Well, see, that's rude.
He's just
That's
jacking.
cool.
He's got better
jacking with
legs.
Good. Good.
He's jacking with you.
I'm really not. He really does have
Don
better legs.
Don
though.
says, as
I'm not
always.
insecure.
Hey,
Maybe it's a good thing I'm way over
Someone
here.
loves my legs just as they are.
Ashley, cue the music.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share this last comment just to return the jack with for Joe on Amber's behalf. Don Kozlowski says, as always, he's in a hurry. His girlfriend hates that.
don't even have a girlfriend.
And Don, stop sexually harassing Joe. That's just inappropriate. It's inappropriate. All
How
of
do you
this
know
is
he's not a
inappropriate.
boyfriend?
Right. I mean, you just assume.
He just assumed.
He just assumed.
assumed.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow. He also asked if you like boys,
Oh
though.
my
In his
gosh.
in his defense.
It's 2017. You can't judge me now.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell. Exactly.
Hey,
Let's get out of here.
as usual, guys, thank you for tuning into the show. Another wild, goofy, crazy show while we talk about a very serious subject. Chime in with your thoughts. Tomorrow, I'll be responding to all of the comments. If you want to be on the show, hit me up in Messenger. We have a GoFundMe account going right now for the show. GoFundMe.com/Whine No Whine. Please contribute to the show. $5, $500. It doesn't matter. Help support the show. We're buying some more equipment. We're stepping up. Kroger's card, whatever. Everything is good. Joe actually donated $20 to the show. So
200.
200. He did donate to the show. If you can contribute anything, it's greatly appreciated. We're buying more equipment. We're constantly stepping up the game on the show. So I want to thank y'all for being a part of the show. Thank you for tuning in every week. We'll see you again next week. We're out!